138 law enforcement officers have been killed.
People don't think that the police wants to respect because of what they see on TV.
He's reaching!
Drop the gun.
Brand new training that all of our law enforcement officers will be getting.
Cutting-edge training for hostile situations.
This gives them the full encompassing training that they're going to need.
The most advanced training simulators in the country, called the VirTra system.
Very, very stressful. I did it about an hour and a half ago, and only now do I feel like my heart rate is returning to normal.
Show me your hand.
Police officers desperately want to be trained at the very highest level, knowing that someday they may face a difficult life and death situation. They want to be prepared for that.
Anybody can build a simulator. It's really about the quality, and it comes down to content. You have to stimulate everything, their vision, their hearing, their sight. They got to manipulate their weapon systems.
And raising that stress level, making the scenarios as realistic as possible. That immersive nature of scenarios is what provides great training.
If you don't have that higher quality, you don't have the realism, you don't have the immersion, the officers aren't taking it seriously, and it's just a test for them to go through.
Protesting police-involved shootings was not reducing tensions between cops and communities.
There's two communities that are impacted most from our products. One is the public, and they are ecstatic that the very best technology is being used to train the police officers that monitor their neighborhoods. The other community is the police officers themselves. And we've been really honored to see the police officers respond well to this higher level of training.
It's an adrenaline dump, it's an adrenaline rush. Makes you cold, makes you clammy, makes my mouth dry. This is where I want to learn from my failures. Instead of being out on the streets and failing there, this gives me an edge to fail here to succeed on the street.
The Arizona program was initiated from the officers themselves to their unions. It's about the officers feeling based on current events and what's going on in the country over the last 3 to 4 to 5 years with all the shootings. A lot of the departments are put under a lot of political pressure, and so the officers came to their representatives, which are their union reps, saying, hey, we chose this position, we chose this job, but we need better training. Because if you have an insecure, untrained officer, he or she is going to make a lot more mistakes.
VirTra's products offer a host of training objectives. One is a taser training, less than lethal training. Another is verbal practice, de-escalating through simply using your voice.
Hey, relax, put down the hammer.
We do allow also, obviously, lethal force, but that's to provide the whole spectrum of force options to the officer during training. VirTra's flagship product is our 300-degree judgmental use of force training simulator. This product simulates the real world to the highest degree possible with all technology currently available. It includes not just realistic recoil systems, but also includes the threat fire device that simulates return fire. So the officer has to deal with the pressure of return fire during training that can then translate to real life experiences. Legislators can do a lot of things in their states. Certainly they can heighten the awareness of our products, making it known that this capability is now available. Legislators can support adding the equipment necessary to train police officers to the very highest standards. Another thing is our content has been very specially crafted to ensure the maximum amount of training points can be delivered per unit time to both save money and promote the very highest level of officer safety and community safety.
That when you fire a firearm inside the VirTra simulator, that bullet is going to act as if you fired it in the real world, so that you can understand where the bullet's going to go when you fire that bullet. But we can do it at 3 shots for a penny versus 30, 40, 50 cents per shot. I mean, so just do the math on that.
The problem is most of the training that's involved is what we call in law enforcement minimum standard training. Certain departments, they need to meet minimum standards to certify their officers to be sworn officers in certain states. Due to budgets, due to manpower shortages, there's all these factors that come into play.
VirTra's mission is to improve and save lives through the development, deployment, and support of the world's finest judgmental use of force and marksmanship training simulator.
We are not training our officers enough. We hold our officers at a very high standard, which we should, But if we're going to hold these officers at a very high standard, we need to provide them the tools and the training.
I think it takes someone of courage to say what we have done to date is not enough. And legislators in Arizona and in the federal government have taken those steps. And I applaud their courage for coming out and saying, we need a higher level of training to exist in this country, and it starts now.